Hi, my name is Corinthia Davis, and I'm going to be debating on why climate change is a national security issue. To begin, I'm going to define climate change as everyone may not be aware of what it is. Basically, NASA defines climate change as a change in the usual weather found in a place. This could be a change in how much rain a place usually receives in a year, or a change in temperature not usual for that month or season. Climate change also affects a change in the Earth's climate. Whereas weather can change in just a few hours, like in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I grew up. In the morning it would be hot and sunny, and by evening it's cold and rainy. Climate change can take hundreds and even millions of years to change. There should be no doubt that we are experiencing climate change on the Earth right now, as we are already witness to some of the effects. For example, snow and ice are melting at an alarming rate in Greenland, which are causing sea levels to rise. While some of these changes are due to inevitable circumstances, like an erupting volcano or the Earth distancing from the sun, humans are also accountable for such changes. Our cars, how we cook our food, heating and cooling our houses, these all play a part in the changing of the climate. Being that I am an Air Force veteran, I want to make the connection between our military and climate change in terms of being a national security issue. Per the Department of Defense to Congress in a 2015 memorandum, it was stated that, quote, "Climate change is an urgent and growing threat to our national security, contributing to increased natural disasters, refugee flows, and conflicts over basic resources, such as food and water. These impacts are already occurring, and the scope, scale, and intensity of these impacts are projected to increase over time," end quote. The three ways in which climate change can threaten American security include: 1. It will increase the level of conflict and chaos overseas. 2. It will expose the homeland to more destructive climate effects. And 3. It will obstruct the military's capacity to carry out its assigned missions. I actually got to witness the third part firsthand in 2018 as Hurricane Michael made major damage to the base in which I and my family were stationed in Panama City, Tyndall Air Force Base. I want to backtrack here on Hurricane Michael, and then I will go into how it affected the military, that's our national security. For those that do not know, Hurricane Michael was a powerful Category 5 that hit the Florida Panhandle in October of 2018. The Weather Channel reports it as the third strongest hurricane to hit the U.S. at landfall and the strongest for the Florida Panhandle. It is also reported to be the strongest storm on record to make U.S. landfall in the month of October, shattering late-season records. Researchers attribute the cause of the hurricane, occurring so late in the hurricane season, to climate change. Kevin Trenberth of the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Colorado says that ocean heat has been accumulating due to global warming. In regards to global warming, the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report states that 93% of the excess heat produced by human-caused global warming is now stored in our oceans. Thus, the water is warmer and for longer periods of time. Whereas water temperatures in the northern Gulf of Mexico should have been cooled, they had not, and as a result, my family and I, along with all of those who lived in the Panhandle at the time, got to experience Hurricane Michael and the after effects, which brings me to the military aspect. Tyndall Air Force Base suffered much damage, almost $5 billion worth of damage, in fact. Pretty much everything was either destroyed or damaged on the base. Fortunately, there was no loss of life on the base, thanks in large part to leadership mandating evacuation orders. Still, there is no denying that the hurricane, which was most likely an effect of climate change, halted the base's ability to continue its assigned missions. The base had to release a large number of personnel on humanitarian orders to other bases, including my family and I, who are now stationed in North California due to that. Tyndall Air Force Base is still recovering, even today, from Hurricane Michael, and surely with the issue of COVID-19, it may be a while before the base is up and running as before. Ultimately, climate change is and should be treated as a national security issue. Service branches need to ensure that climate resilience is a high priority as sea level risings and the evolving of extreme weather patterns threaten some of the U.S.'s most critical military installations. If not treated as a national security issue, major problems will ensue, and not only will military installations not be able to carry on with their missions, but as stated before, the level of conflict and chaos overseas will increase, and the homeland will be exposed to more destructive climate effects. Fortunately, there are things that we can do to help prevent it as much as possible. Small acts like using less water, turning the lights off when not in use, driving electric cars, and even eating less meat can make a bigger difference than one would think. Thank you for your time.